Hello people, this is my top 20 Chelsea goals of 2017. Before I get into this list, I just want to say that I know that I could have selected some more goals or even some different goals. But anyways, in at number 20, I've gone with Cesc Fabregas against Crystal Palace, which took place, and that game took place on April the 1st, where we obviously lost. But the goal we scored was brilliant. Hazard passes it into the box, and he hits the ball into the post, and it hits the other post and it goes in. Brilliant goal. Right, as you can hear, I've got a piece of paper because I don't have the best of memories. But in at number 19, I've gone with Marcos Alonso's second goal versus Tottenham Hotspur, and the game took place on the 20th of August this year. Brilliant goal. Put the ball underneath Hugo Lloris's body. What more can you say? In at number 18, I've gone with Ivanovic versus Brentford, and the game took place on the 28th of January. It was his last goal for Chelsea, so I couldn't have left this one out. And plus, it was a brilliant goal, brilliant drive into the bottom corner, and the thoroughly deserves one. That was only his second ever FA Cup goal as well, so credit to him. In at number 17, I've gone with N'Golo Kante's wonderful drive against Manchester United, and the game took place on March the 13th, so it was an FA Cup game. And for me, that was a brilliant goal from him. It was his second ever Chelsea goal against Manchester United. That was his second goal from that season, where we obviously won the title, and yeah, it was a brilliant goal. In at number 16, I've gone with Diego Costa's second goal in our 4-2 win versus Southampton, and that match took place on the 25th of April. Brilliant goal. Passes it off to Hazard, I believe, gets the ball back, passes it off to Pedro, gets the ball back again, continues to run, takes 2 touches, his second touch is his shot, and I believe it's Fraser Forster who was rooted to the spot. It was a brilliant goal, and he deserved that. He was brilliant in that game. In at number 15, I've gone with David Luiz's absolute wonder strike versus Liverpool on the 31st of January. Caught the Liverpool defence out and caught Mignolet out with his spectacular side foot free kick, and yeah, good goal. Don't know what else to say about that one. Up next is Pedro's wonderful goal against Watford, and that match took place on the 21st of October this season, the current season. Bends the ball to the far post, hits that post, and bounces towards the other side of the net. Brilliant goal, and that was Chelsea's 8,000th goal in their history. 8,000th goal in their history. So credit to him. In at number 13, I've gone with Bakayoko's chip shot against Huddersfield Town, and this game only took place a few weeks ago, just under 3 weeks if I'm correct. It took place on December the 12th. It's a very good goal by Bakayoko standards. Yeah, that's all I can say. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. In at number 12, I've gone with Hazard's Panenka against Newcastle United, which took place on December the 3rd. So again, a few weeks ago. Just cheekiness. Brilliant goal from Eden Hazard. In at number 11, so getting close to the top 10, or my top 10, I've gone with Alvaro Morata's second goal against Stoke City in the match which took place on the 23rd of September. He breezes past Darren Fletcher with his pace, goes to the near post, curls it into the far post. Brilliant goal. It was a blinder. Okay, now it's the top 10, or my top 10. And just to let you know, I'm going to give you some honourable mentions at the end. I've gone with Zappacosta against Karabag. Cross, shot, does it matter? It was a brilliant goal. Very good goal. And his crossing is actually very good. I'm not going to lie. It was actually meant to be a cross, but it ended up in the back of the net. So who cares? I certainly don't. Brilliant goal, and he deserved it. In at number 9, I've gone with Hazard's counter-attacking goal versus West Ham United on the 6th of March. Kante passes it to Hazard, he gives it to Pedro. Pedro gives it back to him, and he takes it past the keeper and puts it into an empty net. Typical Eden Hazard, worthy of this list. In at number 8, this list starts to get tighter. I've gone with Pedro versus Everton on April the 30th. It was an absolute rocket of a shot, and what a way to take the lead in the match, eh? In at number 7, I've gone with Batshuayi's winner versus Atletico Madrid.
Why, man? They need to add Messi and Ronaldo.
No question about why this is in the list, because he sticks the ball into the net and he deserved to win that game, and I'm glad that he got the goal because he needed to build confidence, so credit to him. In at number 6, I've gone with Danny Drinkwater's absolutely sexy half volley versus Stoke City, and the game actually took place yesterday on the 30th of December. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go and watch it now. Top 5 now. In at 5, I've gone with Willian's cross shot versus Liverpool, and that match took place on the 25th of November. I don't know how we didn't score more in that game, but that's for another day. In at number 4, I've gone with Matic's absolute cracker versus Tottenham on April the 22nd. If you haven't seen it, you've been living under a rock. You've been living under a rock, because the way he hit it and the way it hit the bar, hits the crossbar, bounces down and goes into the top of the net. It's just brilliant. In at number 3, I've gone with Batshuayi's title-winning goal versus West Bromwich Albion, obviously on May the 12th. Is there any question why this one's on the list? No. So finishing in 2nd place, I've gone with Alvaro Morata's brilliant header against Manchester United on November the 5th, bonfire night. That was a firework. That was a firework of a header. And then at number 1, sorry Arsenal fans, I'm going to have to rub it in. I've gone with Eden Hazard's wonderful solo goal versus Arsenal on February the 4th. Runs past their entire midfield and cuts through their entire defence and puts it into an empty net, and off he goes into the Chelsea fans. If you haven't seen it, again, you've been living under a rock. And yeah, brilliant goal. Typical Eden Hazard.
No.
Okay, I have a few honourable mentions, and I believe I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I've got 9 honourable mentions, and they are David Luiz versus AS Roma. You know what? I don't know how I didn't put that on the list, because that was a cracker of a goal. I've gone with, and that game took place on the 18th of October. I've gone with Marcus Alonso v Middlesbrough at home, and that took place on the 8th of May. I've gone with Victor Moses against Arsenal in the Community Shield, which took place in August. I've also gone with David Luiz versus Burnley, which also took place in August. That was actually our first Premier League game of the season. I've gone with Gary Cahill against Hull City just to on the 22nd of January, just to add a bit of variety, and that was actually a brilliant header. Again, sorry Arsenal fans, I've gone with Fabregas's goal versus Arsenal, because it was typical Cesc Fabregas just lob it over the keeper, and that obviously took place on February the 4th. I've gone with Willian's goal versus Brentford simply because it was a wonderful free kick straight into the top corner. Bentley was never saving that, and that game took place on the 28th of January. And lastly, but certainly by far from the least, I've gone with John Terry's goal versus Watford on May the 15th, simply because that was his last ever Chelsea goal, and it was a scrappy goal to be fair, but it was wonderful to watch, and it was just wonderful to see him get his last goal, and it was wonderful to see the fans cheer him on. So yeah, that's my top 20 goals with some honourable mentions. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and let me know what you think your top 20 goals for 2017 are. And I did this because obviously this is the last day of the year, so yeah, hopefully we beat Arsenal next week, and hopefully Eden Hazard scores a sexy solo goal again. We'll just have to see. So yeah, come on you blues, and I'll see you all later.
Come on now, man.